Hello everyone, my name is Candy Sama. Welcome to another episode of Otaku Okashi, also known as Otagashi. I'm joined today with returning members, Hana,
Hello.
Wrym,
Hi.
Cupcake,
That's me.
and Ryu,
Unfortunately.
and a special guest, or rather, a new crew member, also known as Henley.
What's up?
Alright, so before we start anything, Ken, brief introduction about yourself.
Okay, so one of my hobbies is I like to eat food, like any decent normal human being. I play VNs as well, and I play some mobile games on the side, and I like occasionally watch some anime.
What are you currently actually playing right now, by the way?
I'm currently playing Arknights, Honkai Impact 3rd, and Princess Connect Redive.
Mobile games are more important.
I was referring to VNs, but okay.
Well, then I'm not playing any VNs right now.
Dun, 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 dun.
Wow.
Actually, speaking of what are you currently playing / reading, what is everyone actually currently playing / reading? I mean, for me, I'm actually... What am I reading in? Sabbath of the Witch? Sonoba Witch? Yeah.
Ooh, I've heard such good stuff about
Is that game title supposed to sound like son of a bitch? Is that the joke?
It's
I
supposed
think
to.
it's a pun.
Yes, it's supposed to.
Okay, I was kind of wondering.
Hmm. What about you, Anna? What are you currently reading?
I'm actually playing VN Hakuoki.
Which one? The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Episode 0 shout out!
Shut up, Candy.
Really?
And I keep playing this mobile kind of dating gacha game, Mr. Love, which got anime adaptation, by the way.
I need to watch that.
For girl audience, it's really good, so should check it out.
Okay, good. What, anything you want to mention? Any notable things you're reading currently?
No, I just finished Breath of the Wild and I'm taking a little bit of a break to like cool down from that. I know I'm 3 years late to finishing Breath of the Wild. But yeah, I'm just taking a little bit of a break from all kinds of games, and then the next VN that I want to start playing is Period Q.
Oh!
Yes,
Wait,
yes,
what?
yes, 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 yes.
Is it another Otome game?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Are you even
Of course
surprised
it
at
is.
this point?
No, I'm more of like just confused with like why have I not heard these names before?
Just look at the reactions.
That's true.
Yes.
Period Cube
Okay.
is one of the best Otome games.
10 out of 10.
That makes me happy to hear. Cupcake, let me pass the baton on to you.
Alright, so Old Cakes here. I've been playing Code Vein on my PS4. Masterpiece of a game, let me tell you. Astounding visuals, really good. As far as VNs, though,
I heard mixed reviews about it myself.
Yeah.
I
agree.
like it a lot. I think the problem is they kind of, like, not in the commercials, but like through word of mouth, people were calling it like a Dark Souls-esque game and like comparing
Yeah,
it to
it's
that.
true, it's true.
And like through playing it, it's definitely not Dark Souls. I see how people got that from trailers and such, because it's got like the same kind of like fight a bunch of little monsters, fight a big boss, but like there's a lot more to Code Vein than that. But I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I think the story is pretty good. And then in terms of visual novels, I am currently playing Psychedelica of the Ashen Hawk, actually.
I'm guessing from the reaction once again it's not Otome video.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
This one's pretty cool because the main character is a female masquerading as a male character, and so the entire game cycles around this and why she's doing it.
Okay.
What about you, Ryu?
Mostly playing mobile games.
Of course.
Drop
Of course.
names. We want a list.
Elaborate on that.
Let's see, I've been playing Arknights, Fate Grand Order, Azure Lane.
Hentai collection.
No, not Contact Collection.
It's because Candy plays it all the time.
I swear I heard hentai collection. I was like, what?
Every time I die a little inside. Yeah. Any VNs are currently playing right now with you? I'm pretty sure you are.
Yeah, but nothing particularly worth mentioning.
Even though I just spotted you streaming cat ear VNs.
What?
When you're not doing that blacksmith VN thing, the one where you're like a main character's a blacksmith or something,
Those are fox ears, alright?
and then like
Please get it right.
shit. I sort of I glanced over at the thumbnail. I didn't have time to look at.
Please
the
do
thing
not
entirely.
insult Tsubaki.
Okay. But yeah, you want like give a short summary of the
No.
VN you're reading?
Alright then.
Okay. I guess he's not notable in the VN God eye in this case. But yeah, okay. So I guess Ken, I'll get back to you in a bit. I think you already mentioned earlier that you're not actually reading anything particular.
Yeah,
I
nothing.
think for my side, I mentioned. Wait, really? Actually, nothing. No secret VN that you're like, oh yeah, I'm actually reading this. It's like my guilty pleasure.
No.
Ooh. That'd be spicy if he had one though, wouldn't it?
Wow.
But yeah, I think I briefly mentioned earlier. I'm currently reading Sanoba Witch.
Son of a bitch.
It's a Ubisoft game. Son of a bitch, yeah.
Please stop making that joke.
It's
It's not my fault they named it
I
that.
guess off the thing. Yeah. It's a game that's coming on Steam right now. If you guys want to give it a try. It's mainly I think like there's like one designated main heroine. And
Yeah.
that's Nene. And it's okay to put it very bluntly, the VN is actually really really lewd, and there will be a lot of lewd stuff going on, especially if you have the 18 plus patch, especially. So do take note of that. Don't. It's not safe for work, so please do not play it in front of things and people, and you get my idea. But yeah, it centers around the main character actually having a somewhat of a bland life, I would say, and he came across Nene, which is his classmate and like a role model student, I believe, and he caught her doing fashionable things in the school library after school.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of all places, school library?
That's precisely my question as well when I found out about it, and then it just progresses from there. The main route is actually Nene, and yeah, there's obviously other subheroines. There's other heroines as well. You can go on your routes and stuff. I guess for route order, I don't think I want to mention it because that will go into a bit of a spoiler territory in a sense, because some people don't like being spoiled about like route orders. I think we can briefly talk about it in some other episode, but just take note that if you're expecting a lot of content for each of the heroines, to do that, I guess. Question mark. I'll bleep it out if it's too spoilery, anyways. But yeah, that's about it for Sanoba Witch. I think apart from that, I've actually been doing my exams. So I just wrapped up my exams recently. I think about like this week, a couple of days ago, just wrapped up my 2 exams I had for this semester. Yeah, so that's about it on my side, I think, IRL. Anyone else want to mention anything? Oh, right, Cupcake, you want to mention something along the lines of what are we supposed to do?
What? Ah, yes.
No.
Did all my lovely little ducklings here do their homework?
What homework?
Oh,
Well, me and Ryu didn't do our homeworks, but we'd like to hear who did.
well, I did it.
But your homework from last time.
I read a summary. I'm trash.
So Ken, you're new. You weren't here. You were supposed to watch or skim or read a summary or something along those lines of Clannad, because we basically smashed that
Yeah.
game into the ground last episode, and I felt bad
Oh.
because literally none of us had ever given it a chance.
I gave it a chance though. I actually really tried to play it.
I think.
And
Wait, you actually tried to play it?
yeah. I actually went and played like first and second part, I guess. I didn't really have that much of a time because of the exams as well, but I gave my best to at least give the game a try. So the story follows life of Tomoya Okazaki, and the start he's adolescent. I don't know how much the story will progress, but based on the anime, I'd say it go up to his adulthood.
Wait, you actually watched the anime as well, or did you watch anime first?
Yes, I I watched anime when I was a kid, so I don't really remember everything, but I do remember that he grew up, so the story kind of follows his growing up. The story is very similar to like general stories in real life. Like, shit can happen in life, life is hard, and that kind of stuff, and all the decisions that you make can have consequences on your life when you grow up and stuff like that. You have like different scenarios that you can unlock. That's how much I know from when before I started the game. I did a little research, like what's it gonna look like. So you're gonna have a different outcomes of the game, and well, I don't know really what to say about it. I'm not a huge fan of Planet in general. I like the animations. I like how they give you like various options to choose in between.
Wait, there's animation in Planet?
No, I'm referring to how it's drawn
Oh,
and everything.
okay, so
I
that's
mean,
how.
considering it's not very new game, I like, and I'm very picky when it comes to the drawings, the style, and everything. I thought that Clannad had a really nice animation based on that, because like it's pretty old game, and I usually don't like the old games, but I gave this one a chance.
Nice.
So, question, Anna. Would you continue to play it? Or is it a pass?
I loved the way that game developers made the game, because it's like really, you get invested into it, it's the choices you make, and then you're like, oh, I'm wondering what's gonna happen next. So it's like this good TV series that you just like can't get enough of, even though that you maybe hate some characters or you find it, I don't know, like annoying or something. It's a sign that it's a
Story, yeah, it's a good story overall.
good game. Yeah, it's a good story. It offers very touchy-feely moments. There's moments where you kind of like chuckle to yourself when you read stuff. So I guess I don't really want to go into the plot of the game because I don't want to ruin it for anyone. But like, I think that it is worth giving it a try. I mean, it has been made into
An anime, yeah.
anime, and it has 2 seasons of the anime. So I guess people liked it, and it's easy to put in the character's shoes since it's more realistic. There's no like powers or anything. It's just like real life thing, I guess. So when you read it, kind of, oh, I can see why he's sad, or I can relate to his problems and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's worth playing it.
Would you so basically what you're saying is that like some good up and downs? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, it like
Well paced is
at some parts maybe, yeah, it has like very exciting parts, then it slows down a bit just to like keep you on your nerves. You're like, oh, what's gonna happen next, and then again something happens and everything changes, and it just it's good.
So there you have it, guys. Okay, one last note on that. Our question mark homework question mark. What would be your rating of it? Your first impression rating on a scale of 1 to 10. How would you rate it?
I'm still not that deep into the story, and considering first impression, even though I don't like real life stuff, I would give it like 6 or 7 for now.
Okay.
I'm leaving room for it to drop down or grow, so this is kind of some middle that I'd say for now. I'll keep you posted as I keep on playing.
Cupcake Sensei, does that satisfy your assignment?
That's true.
At least someone did the homework, eh?
Alright.
Anna has saved us.
Everyone bow down before your hero.
Actually, on that note, I think, Wrym, you have read a summary, right?
I did. I read a summary of like the first episode.
Can you actually relate to what Anna has spoken so far about it?
Yes.
Like how it's well paced and pretty good up and downs.
Well, I don't know about pacing because I read the summary, so I don't know if I can comment on that.
Mm,
But
yeah.
information-wise, like, yes. I do feel like there's a little bit more mystery if you're trying to figure out, like, what really is the story with Tomoya, the main character. And the mystery lover in me is going, like, yes, what is his story? But knowing that it's going to be focused on regular school life kind of makes me slightly sad, but I'm
Yeah, I
willing to
definitely would
go
agree with
into it.
those sentiments.
That's what
I
say.
actually, so I'll just mention what I did because I too did the homework, sweets and treats. I also did the homework. Anyways, I actually read the first chapter of the manga,
What? I'm sorry, what?
and
Ooh.
so I hate the art style of the games. I'm sorry. The anime and
do
the
too.
visual novel, they look bad. Ryu's in my corner on this one. Key
I mean,
needs better
it's-
artists because they have
pretty-
good stories, but bad art. But the manga looks really good. I really like the manga art. I would
to
read
be-
this manga. I think it's got a very interesting setup. I would probably read more. I probably will read more. There we go. But
Fair enough.
The visual novel is pretty old, so you could,
yeah, it's
explain-
from 2003, but like still,
To be fair,
ugh, I still don't like it.
yeah.
But Wrym, you mentioned our main topic earlier.
Oh, what did I do? What ball?
Time to talk about main characters, ladies
Oh,
and gents.
Here we go.
Yay!
Okay, alright. So, main characters is gonna be our main topic for today. We'll be talking. I think a few things I want to mention is I have a huge gripe about main characters in terms of tropes and stuff, and I think this is a pretty big topic to tackle in terms of this main characters as a whole. Would you guys rather have a bland main character or an actual main character with actual characteristics?
You know, you could have phrased that
Which
a
of these
little
two would you guys
nicer.
prefer?
Do you like self-insertion,
No.
or do you like watching from the sidelines?
True. Because there is,
Well,
I mean,
that's true.
usually,
Because bland isn't necessarily bland, it's just easier
Yeah.
to step into.
I mean, but that's the point of a bland MC though. Like, just
It just sounds so mean to say bland.
they're bland because they're
it's true.
because
Bland doesn't mean boring, okay?
it's bland, but it's true
Plain
that it's
MCs
bland.
have feelings too.
you back me up on this.
What?
Bland MC versus outgoing. Which do you prefer?
Personally, I don't really care. I think both can be done well, and it just depends on the story.
I agree.
Hmm?
Alright,
You want?
people with actual personalization, all the way. I need a real personality.
Yeah,
Why?
me too.
Why?
Okay, so my opinion on self-insertion, it can be done really well, but I don't like inserting myself into the story. I don't want the characters to talk to me, because then if somebody gets yelled at, I'm the one that's doing the yelling, and I'm not super into that. But I will definitely watch somebody's life like it's a sitcom and eat some popcorn, you know what I'm saying?
I understand you on that one. I don't really, I mean, I can understand people like bland characters in romance stuff.
I still don't get it.
They can, like, get themselves in the
mm.
main character's shoes and be like, oh, look, she likes me or he likes me. Oh, yay, it's my favorite, I don't know, ship or something. But for me, it also doesn't work really like that. Because I don't know, I just don't like, I don't know really how to phrase it.
One of the like arguments about having a blend MC versus an outgoing MC is okay, like the whole self-insertion in terms of having, I mean, like a self-inserted MC. Okay, I'll call it this way: self-inserted MC or self-insertable MC versus an outgoing MC is that, like as the name suggests, is you can self-insert and actually feel like as if you're the main character who's being confessed to in terms of romance, like what you guys mentioned. But again, because the MC is so personal, like he or she lacks characteristics, like defining characteristics of her, of the character. There are certain scenarios where like, let's say a more confident person can actually step up and be like, hey, this and like take charge of the scene and actually dive, like, you know, makes the story much more fulfilling. but because that character is a self-insertable character in a sense, self-insertable main character, like they will start to hesitate, or like they would actually add more lines to make as if the MC is like not that kind of person who would step
to
up.
me, they just seem stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they're like, or
Yeah.
they don't
Like, they would
realize
hesitate.
someone likes them. They're always like shy, and they're so like, they don't make any action, and stuff around them is happening, and they seem lost.
Yeah.
And for someone with very like short temper, like myself, I'm just like, why are you so fucking stupid?
Testify.
Yeah, I mean, piggybacking off that, especially like the character feels like as if, or rather, you would feel that the main character is being pulled around by the environment rather than the character themselves actually making character progression in a story. So, yeah, it doesn't feel right in specific cases, especially like what you guys said. Like for romance slice of life, in a way, it kind of works because it's romance. Like the main focus of the VN is romance. Sure, why not? But when it comes to like subtopics, like maybe action or maybe mystery, those certain scenarios would definitely require a specific character trait to come out from the main character. But then if they don't show up, then the story kind of falls apart in a way. So and then you kind of lose your focus on the story as a whole, because you're like, just do it. Like you're not like what you're saying, like just scream at the character, just do it. Get the stuff done. But you can't, because it's the main character being characterless.
Oof. That's an attack if I've ever heard one.
That's why. I like how I said all that, but I'm actually a fan of bland MCs where it's needed, because like I mentioned earlier, I'm more of a romance / slice of life person when it comes to VN genres and as a whole, or just mangas and whatever it is, and I pretty much enjoy generally like a blend MC because I'm able to somewhat self-insert. But there are a few times where I'm just like, get your ass moving, confess to her already, stop hesitating, like it gets frustrating sometimes.
Sometimes it gets bogged down.
Yeah, that's one of my issues.
But to be fair, it happens in real life too. I mean, when you like someone and that person doesn't get it, you just wanna go and scream into their face like, make a move!
You sound like you censored yourself.
You kind of
So we can
Right?
relate. Yeah, sounds like XP, you don't say.
Yeah. Ken, anything you want to mention about this?
So yeah, with what Ryu said earlier, I kind of forgot what he said, but
Hey.
feeling of it, I agree to it.
Like Ryu
because,
said, but I forgot.
Yeah, because there are certain situations where a blank character is actually what a particular visual novel needs, and then sometimes the actual plot of the visual novel is lacking. That's why like having a very lively character that you wouldn't see every day, like someone out of this world, because sometimes you just want to not be yourself. You want to be somebody else, and you want to be like self-inserted, very lively character. Yeah.
No, yeah, I get that.
I can understand that as well.
Yeah. Worm, any thoughts on this? Actually, you've been awfully quiet.
Oh, I was just listening to you guys talk. For me personally, I prefer main characters who have their own personalities. I generally had a preference for that, but this was cemented especially when I played Mystic Messenger. And what happened was, during the first route that I played, because I'm a completionist, I like to get all of the bad endings first before I get the good endings, so that I can end a game on a happy note. What happened was, I was going towards the bad ending, and I had to choose some very mean words and choices to say to the character. Oh, so by the way, Mystic Messenger is a game that does not... The main character is a self-insert. So you put in whichever name you want, and there is no default main character in the game. It's just you. And I had to say really terrible things to the character, like, your dreams will never come true, like, you're a failure, you'll be erased from history, basically. I said such terrible things, and I realized afterwards that Well, I realized like a day later that, oh my god, like my mental health is deteriorating because I'm being so mean and so terrible to this other person. And because there's no main character that's actually there, it feels like I'm the one who's telling this other person that their life is ruined. And that was not okay by me, and I've never had that happen before when there's an actual main character in the game, and I'm just like, oh yeah, pick all of the bad choices, let's go to the bad ending. But with this one, I really realized that, like, okay, no, it's starting to affect me because I self-inserted without even thinking about it. I wasn't intending to, but I did.
Unintentional, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's why I think I prefer main characters with more personality.
Yeah, I also played Mystic Messenger and before, and I had the same problem because I'm also like a completionist and I need to complete every single thing. It's like, it is so hard sometimes, especially when you are like that and you play some, I mean, it's okay, with the VNs, but when you're playing like a platformer and then you have to collect every single fucking coin, it ruins your life. I'm just gonna tell you, it ruins your life. So yeah, I was also like feeling very bad about myself. It's really bad for mental health to be invested into something too much.
On that note though, I am curious, when you guys think of main characters, do you guys have a specific age of main characters that you like? Do you like them to be, someone who's in high school, a character that's in college, or do you have a preference? Let's start with Anna.
I used to didn't care, but since I'm getting older and older and the characters aren't getting any older, I saw myself recently starting to struggle, because I can't really, it feels wrong to like a character that's 16 years old and I'm here like sitting being and I found it especially struggling watching Boku no Hero because I really, really like Bakugo, and whenever I think to myself, fuck, he's like 16 years old and I'm here being and I'm like, should I just go with someone older, like Hugs or someone? And then I'm like, but I don't like that guy. And then I'm like, oh my god, am I a pervert? What am I doing with my life?
Oh man.
I really find it struggling. I think that they should do more older characters sometimes. Because, like, I know high school is very, I don't know what word I'm looking for.
Slice of life?
And I mean, high school is like, it's supposed to be the best age. The age when you go through most of the stuff in your life.
Springtime of your life, or whatever you call it.
And yeah, it should be like springtime of your life.
The
and
golden
everyone,
years.
Yeah, the golden age, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. And everyone takes those years to do like anime, to write mangas, to make VNs. Like, characters are always so young. And it's getting harder and harder for me as a person who watched it and who was like basically, let's say, a weeb, a neat, whatever you want to call it, since I was 12, to grow up and watch the characters stay the same. It's like sometimes heartbroken, I'm like not getting any younger and they're just freezed like Peter Pan in this time. And I'm so sad about it sometimes. I'm just like, I want to see them grown up as well. So yeah, sometimes it just feels wrong. I don't know, it's starting to feel wrong more and more.
Honestly, I can kind of relate to that. So, sometimes high school is fun, right?
Yep.
But like Anna said, I don't like that it's every single game almost.
Yeah, I think almost all the romance / slice of life ones are actually high school oriented.
Well, I have noticed a trend in like the past couple years of them being aged up a bit and being closer to high school or like working adults.
College.
Like a really common age in VNs now, like in more recent made ones again, like past couple years, is like 20-somethings for characters, which I think is really nice.
Yeah.
Because like
Recently, I've been seeing more of the setting be in like a university type.
yeah. So they have started aging them up, which is really nice, because I do like characters that are closer to my age.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's more relatable. Because also, they actually communicate when the setting is college. They're real adults that communicate with each other and talk about their problems. Instead of, oh, does he like me? I don't know. Should I talk to him? No, I'm gonna avoid him because I'm stupid!
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Yes.
So frustrating when they're kids, because they're kids and they don't know.
Oh man.
And, I could talk all day about that. But, definitely MCs that are my age or older is what I prefer. Or, not MCs, love interests. But, I think it's kind of fun if there's, like, the occasional younger one, as long as not every single character is younger than you are.
Like, so basically, like, kind of like your underclassmen, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, like, I've
Yeah, you know.
played one where, like, I think the youngest character was, like, 17, and I don't feel super weird about 17, because I'm only so, like, that's not a lot older.
For me, that's
Like, that's
a
almost
lot.
an adult, right? It's not the same as when sometimes there's a 14-year-old character, you know? 14 and
Yeah.
17,
Yeah.
there's a big difference. But if, like, the youngest character is 17 and the oldest one's, like, 27, you know? Like, that's a good range.
Okay. So, I like how we moved on to main characters all the way to age of characters. Ken, any final thoughts on this? Like, anything you want to mention regarding your preferences in the main character?
I can't relate.
What?
Ryu's a
Can't
log,
relate.
he can't relate.
I can't relate. I don't really consider the age difference thing whenever I'm playing a visual novel. Like, does my own age really matter at all? Like, I don't think about
No,
this
it
sort of
doesn't.
thing.
You're right. Because I will say one thing I've actually done before is if all of the characters are in their teens, I'll just pretend it says 26 instead of 16. And they're just really inept adults.
I mean,
There are some really inept adults
actually,
out there.
actually,
Yeah, right?
to tie in to the other comment about like the whole, what was it, the whole bland self-insert characters. This is precisely the moment where like you can self-insert yourself into these characters and actually not, pretend that you're 16 or like you're 17, you're in your spring of your youth, or whatever you call it, springtime.
You sound
of
like
your
an
life.
old man when you say it like that. In the spring of your youth.
Yes. I don't even know anymore at this point.
Well, he's not getting any younger, that's for sure.
I'm gonna self-insert my fist in your face.
You had to have it.
That was so aggressive for you. I love it.
Both of you are just mean. Oh yeah. Pen, actually being the youngest, what do you think about the whole age thing actually?
Okay, so there's two sides for this for me. On one side, I'd like to enjoy playing as a high school student, like adolescent, because like you could experience a what if kind of moment in your life, since you already made your decisions to how old you are right now. So playing a younger character can also give you like an insight to what could have been your life if you decide to go through that direction. But on the other hand, like you guys mentioned, it kind of makes you depressed thinking, damn, yeah, I'm already this old, and these guys are forever young, and they're actually doing way better than me than when I was an actual, teenager, stuff like that.
Except the fact that
It's really hard because it depends on your mood. Sometimes you can go with the flow and play younger characters. Other times you'd be like, do I really want to play this character even though they're not really my age, something like that.
Yep, I agree.
To touch upon what you said, Ken, I think one thing that, from what you've said, that relates to me is that fiction is a way to explore different possibilities and different what-ifs. Like, I know I'm never going to be, a Japanese schoolgirl living in Japan. Like, clearly that's not what my life was, but fiction kind of, I think, lets you know, like, oh, what would that have been like if I was? Even though it is still an idealized version of, it's not reality, because Japanese school kids have it really, really tough. But that way, and then also that just goes into fantasy too, like, oh, what if I was in a world that had powers? What if I was, someone that got involved in a murder mystery or something like that? It's really fun that fiction allows you to just explore those opportunities.
Okay. Okay. Speaking of exploring opportunities and trying to, be that main character, what is everyone's favorite main character? So, Anna,
What is my favorite main character?
yes.
Okay, wait. Let me think a bit. Can we move on to someone else till?
I'm ready,
because I
I'm
need
ready,
to
I'm ready.
think. Okay, go.
Okay.
Go.
Have to.
My all-time favorite MC from all visual novels I've played. Hands down, Cardia Beckford from Code Realize.
Big question marks.
So, Code Realize, Guardian of Rebirth is the name of the game.
Okay.
It's an otome game.
Explains the reactions.
It's got 5 love interests, and I really love the theme of the game because everyone's like a literary character. So you got the famous thief, Arsène Lupin. You've got Impy Barbicane, who a lot of people actually aren't familiar with, but he's actually from a book about a guy who is building a rocket to go to the moon, which is a theme with him in the game, of course. You've got Dr. Frankenstein, which is, the doctor, not the monster. You've got Saint Germain, who is the immortal count, which is based on a real person that people think exists. Gosh, who am I missing? I'm missing something.
Van Helsing.
Oh, Van Helsing! How could I forget? Oh, and Dracula's in the game too, boys and girls.
Yes.
So I really like that it makes a play on all these characters and like brings a new side to them. It takes place in like an alternate steampunk, I don't know, 1800s London, I think. Oh, I don't know if this is a spoiler. Worms played this game. Jack the Ripper's in the game too. Oh, and Sherlock Holmes. Oh my god. So this game is chock full.
No, Herlock Sholmes.
Oh yeah,
His name's Herlock
Sholmes.
Sholmes.
Yeah, Herlock Sholmes. Sorry. Oh, and what's his nemesis's name? Fucking what's his face? And Watson's in there too, I think.
I think Watson's there in the sequels, in the fan discs.
Ah, okay. But yeah, anyways, tons of literary characters and makes tons of jokes about the things that they're from. It's a very good story, and it follows the story of Cardia, who wakes up in an abandoned mansion that's like literally rotting around her, and she's just sitting in a chair waiting for her dad. And suddenly the queen's royal, I think her royal imperial army shows up, and she gets attacked by dogs. But don't worry, she's fine. The dogs are just melted into little puddles of goo. It's fine. And so everything she touches melts. Except for herself, obviously, because then we wouldn't have the main character, right? And she's got this weird gem in her chest. And the whole story revolves around, what is this gem? Why does everything she touches melt? Who is her father, really? Because he's like the day's Einstein. Mm-hmm. Like he's invented literally everything that there is around, which is kind of insane. And yeah, it's got a very interesting world. Cardia, though, reason why she's my favorite MC. She is the sassiest, most opinionated, like has her own mind heroine that I've ever seen. And I live for it.
Sounds like something I'd like.
Like, she is beautifully written. And it's not like one of those where when you play different routes, the personality kind of changes. No, she is static in a good way. And she is who she is unapologetically. And I really like that. And it works for the story really well. It's really cool that she propels the story forward. And she's not like a helpless damsel with these men all the time.
Is there character development in her case where like does she soften?
Oh, absolutely, yes. So you kind of get to watch her come alive. So she's more helpless damsel at the beginning, but there's just so much about the world she doesn't know that she does learn. So she starts off as this really blank slate, not super emotive, not totally understanding everything. Think of it like she's been like a princess locked away in a tower and she's only ever read books. Mm-hmm. So the world doesn't turn out to be like it was in the books, obviously.
Okay.
The world's different. But she learns about happiness and friends and sadness and love and hurt and all the things. you see her become a person, and it's very heartwarming, very well done. This game is done so well, it does have, I think, 3 fan discs now?
Yes, I do believe so.
Yeah. No, there's a lot.
Okay.
So, very good. Definitely check it out. Couldn't recommend it more highly. With that being said, I think Candy, I'm going to pick you next. Who's your favorite MC?
I would hit so actually 2 characters come to my mind when it comes to favorite MCs per se. One is I would say it's a pretty obvious choice considering my preferences, and that is Hazami Yuji from Grisai no Kaijutsu series, or GNK series as a whole. I think most people here do know about it through either visual novels or through anime. By the way, the entire series I believe should be out entirely on Steam, so do get that. So do give it a try. So just a bit of a summary of what the series as a whole is. Basically, Yuji Kazami is a transfer student into this what appears to be a seemingly normal school called Mihama Academy, and his goal is to pretty much just live an ordinary school life. But this dream of his may not come true anytime soon, as the academy that he joined is actually not what he actually wants. It's a special school where it actually only consists of the principal and 5 other students. Yeah, I don't know how to teach. Where's the teachers? Where are the subjects? Where are the exams? But yeah, so he gets acquainted with all the other girls, all the other students who are all girls, by the way. Cough, poem, cough, visual novel, it's scripted. And he gets to know more about them, about their personality, and possibly what have the backstory behind them if you go on their route, for example. And he begins to learn the truth behind why they are here in this seemingly normal academy, but it's actually not normal at all. So to put academy's synopsis as a word is Mihama's academy acts as a home for these girls, and they are the fruit in quotations which fell from their trees and have begun to decay, and it's up to this main character, which you can kind of self-insert to save these fruits from rotting entirely. But the main character himself actually has his own secrets, and that's why I'm actually choosing this character as like my so-called favorite character, because Yuji is actually initially when I first played him, he like what Cuphead actually mentioned earlier with her main favorite character was that she kind of like starts off as like pseudo bland, like you don't particularly have any like identifying key traits for him initially, apart from him just being really emotionless. Then slowly you realize that he as the story progresses, you realize that he actually has some kind of mystery behind it, like some kind of secret backstory behind him, and he actually does step up to do things that where a bland MC would have probably like faltered or hesitated. He would actually step up to do something. Obviously I can't go into exact details, so I'm trying my best to generalize it. I can't really go into details again, so I can't really like give pure examples, but it becomes pretty clear as you progress through the story. Just the first visual novel, or rather just the first one, for example, you can tell that he in a way feels like a hybrid between like a bland character and at the same time a main character who has actual character personality traits which helps them to progress the story forward. He's not actually being pulled around in a way by the environment. He's actually also helping to progress the story by himself and not actually be pulled around. Because I say that because there are certain scenarios in the story which I obviously cannot say where the environment pulls him, and then there are times where he actually does go forward himself and actually push forward the storyline as a whole. So that's why I like a lot about him actually, because he kind of has that double thing going on where he can self-insert and at the same time not say like self-insert and just follow on and actually be immersed in the story still. It's actually quite interesting. Another thing I think as well, is there are a few times where they actually briefly give the other perspective of the character as well. So it's not necessarily him being the main character per se. There are times also where the side characters becomes the main point of view of the audience. Audience actually views it through their lens. So yeah, I mean, this is Kazami Yuji, that he comes to my mind whenever I think of like a actual anime, not anime, visual novel main character that I would follow. And another one I would actually want to casually mention. Let me just Google up his name, because again, to me, I don't actually particularly remember much names, but I do remember their faces for most characters actually. So, but while I'm googling that up, is this character is from Majikoi. I think only myself and Ken played this game. Am I right, Ken? Am I the only? Are you and I the only one that played Magikoi?
Yes, I think.
Ryu, did you play Magikoi? Did anyone else play Magikoi?
I don't think he's played it.
Ryu, did you?
I played Magic before.
You did.
Yeah.
Do you remember his main character's name?
Yamato Naoe?
No.
Yes, him. He has
There you
Yamato Naoe. So again, brief synopsis of the series as a whole is Magikoi is not exactly what you would really expect from a VN per se. It's like if I were to give a big defining genre of the entire series as a whole, it's comedy. Like, don't go in expecting, in a sense, realism. Don't go in expecting, it's gonna be like serious slice of life stuff. The main like comedy is a really huge percentage of the entire VN as a whole. So an example I could give is that like you have ridiculously overpowered heroines or even side characters as well, and they kind of pseudo like even the setting as well as a whole, like what kind of class they're in, what kind of school they're in. It's completely like unrealistic. So don't ever expect like a sense of any kind of realism whatsoever in the VN as a whole. Expect lots of comedy, expect lots of fun, expect lots of action as well. I mean, like I mentioned, it's also about superpowers and stuff. So a brief synopsis is I'll read it off online. The samurai are
For shame.
the samurai are a very important part of Japan's history, and to be related to them in any way is one of the most inspiring things that a young high school student could ever hope for. Kawakami City is well known for having many samurai ancestors among its citizens, and it's generally surrounded by an atmosphere of fighting spirit, loyalty, and dedication to work. Again, this is what I'm saying. Don't expect too much realism in this. In Magikoi, the students of Kawakami Academy, half Kawakami City, use this knowledge on a daily basis, whether they are studying for exam, competing in sports competitions, aka martial arts, or making sure that they take very good care of their traditions. Yamato Nori is one such student, and his 6 closest friends, 3 being boys and 3 being girls. Surprising, it's not harem actually. Make up the perfect team for friendship, rivalry, and motivation. However, even some might have weaknesses. Yeah, and yeah, blah blah blah. I'll like, but yeah, just like this is short reading. But like, my point is that like him as a character, if I were to give him a defining trait for his main character, is the fact that he's actually generally a really good strategist. He is known as the go-to guy for like strategy stuff. Like if like his clique, like his group of friends, and anyone and anyone in school would actually go to him if they want to like get certain things done. Like for example, it's a like he would have a wide connection of contacts in the school. Like if you want to know about something, or if you want to do something which is kind of like a niche, for example, let's say if you need to like find out, hey, is there a way I can acquire information about this specific book or this specific sport that is not that common. This guy Yamato is the guy to go to ask in that sense. Like he can ask around and actually help you find out like, hey, there are people with these interests in over here in this corner of the school. You can talk to them about it and stuff like that. Like things like these is actually not that common, I would say, in VNs per se. They're actually kind of defining, I would say. So yeah, Yamato no he's pretty good. And again, relation to Visayas Yuji, he does actually step forward when he needs to do so. And I mean, although there are times where you would feel that he's kind of dilly-dallying a bit sometimes, but he does actually step forward when the situation demands it. He does step forward to do what he needs to do. Again, a pretty interesting mix of the whole plan slash self-insertable MC versus actual defined characteristic of the main character. So yeah, these two actually does come to my mind. So I hope I didn't went on a huge rant about these two. Anna, are you actually ready with your chosen character?
Well, I remembered one,
Sure.
but I mean, I can't really say that she has a character. More, she has multiple characters based on the route you go with. and it's the Amnesia game that I played a while ago. And I mean, the heroine herself is, I think, like, maybe if you don't find her relatable in one route, you will in the other one, because her character develops through the game. In each one, she's a bit different, I guess.
So, are you saying that her character traits in a way changes as you play different routes?
Yes.
Okay.
So as you play different routes, her character changes.
Can you give us a summary of Amnesia, what the game is?
It's a game that follows a girl who
Lost her
who
memories.
lost her. Yeah, thank you. English is hard today. Who lost her memories due to an accident, which I'm not gonna reveal. And she wakes up in a hospital. She has a bandage around her neck and left arm. And basically, she instantly starts to meet characters she's gonna have to have something to do with.
Mhm.
And she tries to regain her memories by having this, let's say, sidekick animal thingy that only she can see. And she's trying to avoid someone, and her decision will lead to either her death or her survivor, basically. So, yeah. I mean, if I say anything afar from this, I'm gonna spoil the game. So, so I'm just like trying to not to spoil too much, but it's definitely a worthwhile game because she's different. She gives you this variety of character that more people can relate to, you know? Sometimes she's ballsy, sometimes she's shy, sometimes she's a bit like confused and unsure, but all the other characters that she meets make up for it. So every time she meets a guy, he makes her weaknesses into her like advantages somehow. Like they fulfill each other well. So basically, whatever route you pick, I think you'd be happy with it. So yeah.
Would you say she's a self-insert character, or would you say she is like what you said earlier, like she as her character progress, does she get defining characteristics that make her,
I think she's like a mixture. I think she's like you get the best of both worlds because she is kind of bland, but she's not that bland, you know. Like she does decisions, even though those decisions are scaled to the point that you can still connect to her character and you can still like fulfill the parts that she's missing and then feel like you're actually in the game.
Okay.
And if you're not happy with the outcome, you can just move to another route and play it again and make different choices.
Okay.
So I'd say it's like pretty satisfying game.
I think you could roughly say about it for most of the fans. Ken, any main characters you wanna, mention?
I don't have any particular favorites, but going through the top of my head, there's this character called Azai Kyosuke. He's the main character for a visual novel called G Senjo no Mao, or
Ooh.
Devil on the G String, if I got the English correct.
Oh, I know that one!
Yeah.
I have another one, yeah.
So I'm just reading the synopsis of the NDB. So our main character is the son of a legendary gangster. So he's in charge of the money laundering and all that stuff. And then one day, this eccentric schoolgirl called Usami Haru, and she comes into his life, and she's like trying to hunt this person called Mao for reasons unknown. And our protagonist doesn't care about this Mao person until one day this Mao guy starts targeting his father's corporation. And then genres for this game is kind of psychological. There's like some sort of battle elements to it. It's more of a mental
Thriller?
game. Yeah, more of a thrill game. Yeah, thriller.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay. Why exactly would you say that he's your favorite? Like not favorite, but like the one that comes to your mind. Like why does him as the main character come to your mind? Like compared to other VNs.
Oh, okay. Well, personality-wise, the main character is very cold and calculating. He won't let his emotions cloud his judgment, so he'll be very decisive and even ruthless at times. His character does sort of mellow out depending on which character you go for in the game. But the game is very linear. If you pick one character, you don't go towards the main story. Yeah, it's very interesting to see how he turns out in different endings as well.
So, again, character progression is a nice thing here, is it?
Yeah, I get, yeah.
Okay. Well, I've noticed you've been eager to say something.
Yes. So, my favorite character, if I had to choose, I would say it is Benny Yuri from Psychedelica of the Black Butterfly.
That's a solid choice.
Psychedelica of the Black Butterfly is a game where the main character wakes up with no memories inside of this rundown mansion. She tries to find her way out of the mansion, and there does not seem to be any way out. And along the way, she meets about 5 different men who also have amnesia just like her. And as they're trying to figure out what's going on, they're attacked by monsters, and they realize that the only way they can try to survive this and figure out what's going on and why they've lost their memories is by working together. And so, they give each person sort of placeholder names, and so the main character, who's a girl, her name that she goes by is Benny Yuri. One, it's a very dark game, and it's very, very emotional.
Oh boy,
And
is it.
For me, I really, really love Benny Yuri because despite whatever the mansion throws at her, despite whatever hardships come, she always just pushes forward with such kindness and while being strong as well. Like, she's absolutely not a pushover. In the game itself, the characters, I won't say how, but they come across guns that they can use to try and fight the monsters. And, so Benny Yuri, she's going around shooting these monsters, and she pulls her own weight in this group of other guys, while still maintaining her completely feminine and extremely nice and extremely sweet personality. And there's more stuff that happens the deeper you get into the game, and if I were to get into that, it would be a spoiler, but I would say I love Benny Yuri for her strength and her kindness. Ryu, what would you say is your most favorite character? Or main character?
I don't think I particularly have one.
Aw, come on! Or do you have, like, a character
Okay,
that you could
Let's
say?
see.
At least like
Pick
what's
anything.
the first character that's on your mind that like left some impact on you? Like it doesn't have to be your favorite one.
Let's see. If I had to pick something, let's see. I guess I'll go with, like, what Kenny mentioned earlier. I liked Yamato Naoe because of not because of his characteristics as a main character, but as just a character in general in that universe, because of how he compares relatively to everyone else. Everyone in that universe is generally a very strong fighter, but Yamato is not. He solves all of his problems with just
Your
his
strengths.
brain
Yep.
And whatever tricks he has on his hand.
So
Yeah.
would you say that he's a very resourceful character?
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that, Ryu.
I actually have a question for you.
What?
Yeah, actually, I have a question for you actually. So, considering that you've read quite a lot of fiction novels as a whole, right? Both translated ones and non-translated ones, would you say that your lack of preference for a specific character is due to the fact that you've been reading quite a number of VNs which have self-insert MCs compared to actual strong characteristics MC?
I feel like that question should be the other way around. I don't have a preference because I've read enough visual novels of both types to see that they're both good, so I don't really care which one it is.
Ah. Okay. So now with that being said, what would you say is the plus point for either side?
I'm pretty sure you guys have already mentioned this, but when a character is more well developed, they can have a stronger role in the story and have the story driven by them, which is good for certain plots, but is not necessarily required for every type of story. Some stories can allow for other characters that are not actually the viewpoint character to control how the story flows. That's where I see that so-called insert characters can actually play in well, because you don't necessarily have to always be the one in control of the story. You're just there as the viewpoint character to see how the story goes along.
He's got a point, and he summed it up perfectly.
Yep.
Yeah. Clap for you.
You finally put you MVP finally actually put through.
Shut up.
Okay. Any final thoughts from anyone before we wrap up?
No, I actually am really pleased with we all kind of selected from different genres.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's true.
We had some mystery, we had some slice of life, we had some historical, etc.
Okay.
Wide range of tastes.
Alright, I think one final throwaway question, or rather one recommendation I actually want to highlight. It's actually not a VN actually. So talking about main characters and how we're commentating about all this kind of stuff. There is a specific manga that I would like to highlight actually. It's called Tsundere Akuyaku Reijo Liserotte, or rather Liserotte to Jikyo no Endo kun to Kaisetsu no Kobayashi-san, which is which is Japanese for Endo and Kobayashi's live commentary on the villainous, which is basically a manga about two characters, two high school kids, who actually part of this gaming club, and during the summer break they went over to one of their houses. Once a girl, once a guy, so they actually went to the girl's house and they started commentating about a visual novel, actually an otome visual novel if I'm not wrong, and they were trying to go on the villain route in a way. The goal of them was that they were trying to record themselves doing live commentary, color commentary, how you do sports, like that kind of color commentary, play by play and stuff like that. And turns out the main characters in the visual novel can actually hear them, or to be more specific, the king, which is the main love interest of the otome, of the heroine, can actually hear them do their play-by-play and commentary. And as a result, he could actually, because of them commentating about how the villainess is actually just being a tsundere instead of actually being an actual villain, and stuff, he actually starts to fall in love with the villainess, and they kind of veered away from the main character and actually go on to the the villainess and the prince interactions as the main character kind of thing. It's actually quite interesting. It's a pretty big concept, I would say, coming in for a story, and I actually pretty much recommend it. So yeah, this is a throwaway thing I want to mention about that.
Thank you.
Alright, so we here gave you guys our favorite MCs and the games they're from. But let us know down in the comments below what your guys' favorites are. Maybe we'll look into some and mention them.
Yes, I have put in the comments as well. Self-insert MC versus strong personality MC. Which do you guys prefer? List in the comments.
Right?
Got excited there.
Until next time, sweets and treats. Otagashi crew out.